Trying to decide between the Eufy S1 Pro versus Elvie Pump, then this video is for you. In this video, I'm going to walk you through the pros and cons to each of these wearable breast pumps so you can decide whether the Eufy versus Elvie is the right pump for you. So let's get started and take a look at some of the features that both of these pumps have. And starting with suction. So the Eufy S1 Pro has a suction strength of 300 or up to 300 millimeters of mercury. It's a hospital grade suction strength. This is in comparison to the Elvie, which has a really gentle suction strength. It's only 220 millimeters of mercury. So it's great if you are somebody that responds better to a gentle suction. However, if you need a stronger suction, this may not be the pump for you. In terms of modes, they are actually very similar. Both have two pump modes on the pump itself, your stimulation and your expression. So these are your stimulation and your short suctions for initiating your letdown, and then the expression are the long suctions for drawing out your breast milk. And then the thing I love about both of these is they have app integration. So you can use both of these with their apps. And inside the apps, you have additional 4 modes for both of these pumps. The one thing I will add though, I really love the Eufy app in comparison to the Elvie. It lets you tailor and set your own pumping mode, which you don't get in the Elvie. They are preset and that is the options you have, whereas in the Elvie you can go through and adjust things like your suction cycle speeds, your timer, you can adjust your suction levels very easily. So you have all these additional features in the Eufy app that aren't in the Elvie. So something to keep in mind. In terms of functionality, I feel like the Eufy S1 Pro offers more. In terms of levels though, they are both identical with 7 levels. The other really pro thing about the Eufy S1 Pro that a lot of people love is its HeatFlow technology. So behind or inside your flange, there is a heating pad. Now this also has 7 different levels, and the HeatFlow is designed to help with milk output and prevent engorgements. Now you can get the same effect by using a heated lactation massager, but having it in the pump is something that I know a lot of mums really appreciate. Okay, so the Elvie, I should add, does not have that feature. Now, if we talk about flanges, they are 2 very different flange setups. So the Elvie comes with a hard plastic flange. It is your standard 90-degree angle. It comes with a 24 millimeter flange diameter. And the thing I do like is it does have a 28 millimeter flange included. So this is great if you're somebody with a larger nipple size. It is a simple push in to your pump when you're connecting it all together. So it is really easy to use. In terms of the Eufy though, so this is a softer silicone, has a nice velvet feel. It is also a 24 millimeter flange. However, it has a 105-degree flange angle, so opposed to your standard 90. This is designed to mimic the baby's positioning, mouth positioning while breastfeeding and help with comfort and milk flow. In terms as well as the flange, you'll see that it has the edging of it. You need to get the seal up and over the corner of your collection cup. So you've almost got to lift it and then press until that lip is in. Now, it's a little harder to use, and if you don't get this seal right and it has a little bit of a gap, then you are prone to leak. So it is a little bit more complicated to use, but you do it once or twice and it's not a hard process. Just something to keep in mind. Now, the Eufy S1 Pro does come with smaller flange inserts, which I do love. It's got a 17, 19, and 21 millimeter, which you add the insert and it will reduce the flange diameter, which is great that these are included because it helps you to get going right from the start. That said, you don't have the larger flange size if you are somebody that needs that larger nipple sizing. In terms of capacity, both of these are 5 ounces, but I think where the Elvie shines is it is a pump to bottle design, which I love. I think this is really handy if you're pumping on the go or at work. You can simply do your pumping, pop your cap on and store it in the container. No need to pour it into a different storage container. It's ready to be stored straight away. With the Eufy, it pumps into your collection container and there's pouring spout on the top. So you need to then transfer this into a milk storage bag or a bottle. It cannot be stored in your pump. Okay, so let's talk about battery, because this is another really big pro for the Eufy. With the Eufy S1 Pro specifically, you get a rechargeable carry case. Now, this is USB-C charged, and when you place your pump in, you'll see that this light goes on. This is now charging my pump. It's got a little magnetic charger here, and this will recharge my pump for up to 5 days. So amazing if you are pumping on the go or traveling. This is really handy. And the fact that it's USB-C means it charges faster. I really, really like this technology. The Elvie, on the other hand, it's USB charged. It will only last for up to 150 minutes of runtime off a single charge, and then it needs to get charged again. 150 minutes though is more than adequate, especially if you're part-time or occasionally pumping. Most wearables are recommended for only part-time or occasional pumping. That said, if you're using it more or don't want to be charging every night, it may not be as suitable. But where the Elvie does shine is when it comes to noise output. Now, the Elvie, and what makes it super special, is it has a piezo pump motor, which oscillates at 21,000 times per second, which is beyond human hearing. That makes this pump one of the quietest, if not the quietest, on the market for a wearable breast pump. It's only 28 decibels, so it is whisper quiet, and that's how it's marketed. In comparison, the Eufy is 26 decibels, so I will turn it on and let you hear for yourself the difference. So we'll start with the Elvie. Now, with a little bit of background noise, this pump, you're not going to hear it. It's great if you are working or want a pump that's extremely discreet. Not always my favorite in terms of a pump for a working mum, which I will link to my preferred options, a video, but whisper quiet. And if that's something that's super important to you, then the Elvie is definitely one to consider. The Eufy, let me take that off pause. I'll turn it up. So it is a little bit louder, but again, with a little bit of background noise, it's still going to be quite discreet. It's not super loud in any terms for a wearable breast pump. All right, so lastly, let's talk about price, because there is a big difference between these. I checked the Elvie pump this morning on Amazon, and it was sitting around $549 for a double set. In comparison, the Eufy S1 Pro was around $349, so $200 difference. And I do also have a 16% off discount code PMILK I will add it into the comments, which will give you 16% off. So we'll bring your pump under $300 for a double, which is a big difference when we're talking price. So which one would I choose? Out of these, I'll be honest, I love the Eufy. I think it offers a lot more. There's more in the app. You've got your heating pad. You've got little things like your flange inserts already included. And you've got the rechargeable carry case. For me, I feel like you get more value, especially as it's nearly $200 or $250 if you use my discount code cheaper. That said, if you need, and it's integral to you to have the quietest wearable breast pump, then the Elvie is the option. But just keep in mind, it has that gentle suction, and the app is somewhat limited. So I hope this helps. If you have any questions, please ask and I'll do my best to answer. Cheers.